Hey, listen to this, mamas. You are the most important person to your baby in this entire universe. The babies don't really care what other people think about them. The babies really do care what you think, what you feel. Because let me tell you very clearly, it's scientifically proven that the babies can understand the feelings and emotions and the vibrations from the mothers. So, a confident mom makes a confident baby. That's my philosophy, and I did follow that, and I have a lovely baby now. So, I want you to strengthen yourself up and gain as much as knowledge as possible related to preterm babies. That's the reason this whole channel is dedicated to. So if you haven't subscribed to this channel still, please go ahead and subscribe to this channel, and don't forget to hit the bell icon next to it. Moms around the world has a very lovely experience of holding their baby, caressing their babies, and having skin to skin or even start breastfeeding as soon as the babies are born. But unfortunately, that blessing is not there for the mothers of premature babies. But don't get discouraged. You can have skin to skin once your baby is all right. We can have many memories, but just until a little season, the baby has to be far from us. So in this video, I'm going to tell you what happens in the first month of a life of a premature baby. The first thing that we need to know is our babies can't breathe by themselves. Yes, you heard me right. Premature babies cannot breathe by themselves. They need an external support like ventilator or even something like CPAP. It's called continued positive airway pressure. So this helps the baby to breathe in and breathe out for a few days. So depending on the number of weeks earlier the baby is born, the more intensive NICU care the baby needs. If you haven't watched my video on types of premature babies, you can watch this video. Then you will understand how long your baby needs to stay. The more premature the baby is, the more NICU stay they need. The first one, as I said, they can't breathe by themselves. They need breathing assistance. But nothing to worry. In 4 to 5 days or maximum 10 to 15 days, they will learn how to breathe by themselves. This happens because the internal organs are not completely matured, especially the lungs. So that's the reason before the delivery, some steroids are given to the mothers of premature babies who are anticipated the delivery within 1 or 2 days. They will give each dose for 24 hours before the baby is born, so that it fastens the maturity of lungs. So I got 1 dose. Actually we should have 2 doses, but I didn't have time. It was an emergency, so they gave only 1 steroid for me, and Olive was okay by I think 10 days or so. She was okay. She was out of CPAP. The second important thing that you need to know is there will be a lot of difficulty in feeding. Yes, because their jaws are not developed, swallowing reflex is not still developed. So sometimes what they do is they put in a foot tube or a foot pipe inside their mouth or through their nose, and they start feeding. For Olive, she had a foot tube until 5 to 6 days. So they sent her milk directly to the stomach through that pipe. I still vividly remember the first feeding that Olive had was 5 drops. So my husband went for the counseling, and the doctor said that today Olive had 5 drops, and he called me and he said Olive had 5 drops. I was like, what? 5 drops? Are you serious? So yeah, that's how they do it. And for that, he came all the way 10 kilometers down to get breast milk from me. So I pumped the breast milk and I sent it back to the hospital. I was expecting a nice good feed because I had no idea how much premature babies will drink. So the doctor, out of the 100 ml bottle, he took 5 drops and then he fed. The next day it was 10, the next day it was 15. So eventually it was like that. Because the doctor told us that the intestines may have some problems. So they need to see with little feeding how the baby is responding. Eventually they will improve the feeding and they will increase the feeding. So don't worry if your baby is still having drops. In no time they will just finish the bottle and toss it off. Adding to this point, once your baby is ready for breastfeeding, do try to breastfeed. Actually babies do latch, but the problem that they have is they do not have the jaws developed. Their jaws are still very tender and fragile, so they don't have the strength to even suck also. So that's the reason they get tired and exhausted and they sleep. But eventually we need to stimulate them, and somehow we have to make them wake up and drink. And they may not like seriously feed a lot of breastfeeding. Then you can eventually give them top feeding using a spoon or traditional cup. So once you brought your baby home and you want more practical tips on how to take care of your premature babies at home, so get this book. It's available on Flipkart, Notion Press and Amazon. It's really helpful. It's not that it's my book, but it has tons of useful practical tips like weight gain tips, feeding tips, sleeping tips, bedding, vaccination, milestones, signs of emergency, kangaroo mother care, whatnot. There are tons of things, almost 20 chapters I believe. So it's a must-have book if you're having a preterm baby and you want to get your preterm baby home very soon, or even if you have your preterm baby at home, you want to take care of them, this book is helpful. The next book is how to track the weight gain and the feeding of your baby. Track your weight gain, milestones, feeding, vaccinations, doctor's appointments, and many more things. You need to get this. You need to follow this. Trust me when I say you need to do it, because you need to do it. I have done it. It was really helpful for me. So you can do this on weight gain feeding tracker. You can get both these books on Amazon, Flipkart, and Notion Press. Third thing is a very sad thing. I really hated this the most because we have to come back home without the baby. So be mentally prepared that you need to be back home soon after your delivery, after 4 or 5 days in the hospital, and then you have to come back home all alone with empty arms. But it's okay. After a few days, your baby will come back to you. So now, when I came home, I really cried very bitterly. I did not share this with my husband or with my parents because already everybody are in stress, and I don't want to add more stress to them. So it was like all alone, and I was crying, thinking that my baby is all alone. She's in pain. It's all because of me. I was having all those thoughts in my brain, and that was like killing me inside. Even now, if I really think deeply about it, I still have tears, but it's very emotional to have it like that. But however, we shouldn't forget that God is with them. The baby is not alone. God is with them. God will take care of the baby, and soon we will have our babies at home. But we need to really remember that the babies are in good hands. As much as we want to get the baby and take care of the baby at home, that's not practically possible, because they need a ventilator, they need healthcare providers, they need food pipes, they need continuous monitoring of the internal organs because they're not matured. The babies stay in NICU amongst the healthcare providers under the supervision of the doctors is very crucial in the first months of their lives. At the end of this video, I'll be telling you when did Olive come out of NICU and when did I take her home. So do watch this video until the end. The next point is coming to the happy part. It's when the doctor will say it's okay to touch your baby. So when the doctor says it's okay to touch your baby, because initially we are not allowed to touch our baby because they have really raw immunity. So they may get few diseases from us, because even our immunity is low, their immunity is even lower, so we shouldn't do all those things. So once the baby is okay and the doctor will tell to touch the baby, you touch the baby gently. If you want to hold the baby, you ask the nurse. They will definitely help you, and they want to help you. They want the mother and baby to stay together as much as possible. They are not the villains over here. Like, if the nurse will tell you not to touch the baby, do not touch the baby. That's for the good of your baby. So do understand that. So once the baby is all okay, you can touch the baby gently, caress them. No kissing. If you don't have any lipstick and if you're just plain and you just brushed, then that's okay. But with all makeup and sweat and all, and you're in a lot of public, don't kiss the baby. It's not healthy. Do wash your hands before touching the baby all the time. Even after discharge, even after getting the baby at home, in the first 2 to 3 months, whenever you're touching your baby, sanitize your hands. Literally do that. I have done that, and I've never made my baby sick. So this is a strict advice from doctors because their immunity is extremely low. So make sure you maintain hygiene whenever you are around your baby, especially if you're holding the baby. And don't even hesitate to tell somebody to sanitize before holding your baby. This last point is very important. Do as much as research as possible on premature baby care at home, because that will eventually help you, and be prepared when the baby arrives home. You have plenty of time, at least 10 to 15 days before the baby comes home. So get the room ready, do your own research, read books and read articles about them, and even watch videos like this and subscribe to the channels, and even not only mine, anything that is helpful to you and that is authentic. let me remind you, not any random strange information or input which is not scientific. No, don't go to that because it will put you down. Go to something which is very scientific and comes from experience. That is very good for you. And the main reason that I've started this channel is because when I was in hospital and Olive was in NICU, I tried to research few things and I absolutely found nothing. It was only nurses who were swaddling, showing how to swaddle, nothing apart from that on premature baby care. So that's the reason I have started this video. I've started this channel especially to help the families of premature babies. So I hope this video is helpful to all of you. So yeah, that's it for this video. I hope you all got few information, a little bit of info. Oh yeah, I forgot. When did Olive come back home from NICU? So I first held her in my hands on her 21st day. I vividly remember it because 21st day is an auspicious day in Indian tradition. So on that day, we were very, very happy that we were able to hold her. So we got all dressed up, and then we stayed in the hospital for a couple of days. And then on the 24th day, I believe she came home. So technically we got her to us in our room on 22nd day. So she stayed in NICU for 21 days. So yeah, that's it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed this. I hope you all had good experiences, and I hope and I pray that your baby will come home safe and sound, all healthy, good in God's perfect time. Until then, take care of yourselves and don't forget to take care of your little ones. Loads of love, hugs and kisses to your little ones. Bye bye.